first meet Stefanos? So I met Stefanos, for one, in 2005, I'm very sure. It might have been 2006. 2005, 2006, one of those years. When you're in your 20s, me, not Stefanos, the time kind of just like warps into each other. We definitely met probably partying in Hollywood. I used to be a big, even before, you know, the 21 age, a big, you know, party goer and bar girl. Like when you have like bottle service girls, you know, I did a lot of that. I did a lot of go-go dancing. So it's kind of tough to pinpoint it. I just know that, you know, I hit on him first for sure. Like people would think that maybe he hit on me first. It did not happen like that. I was immediately like, you're waiting for me after work. I get off in like a couple of hours. We'll go get something to eat. Like I just made the whole evening. And, you know, we're kind of inseparable for about 9-10 months after that. So it was good times. My first impression of Stefanos: strong, manly. And let me explain manly. A lot of people in LA, a lot of guys in LA are very pansies. Like they're like a little girly, and I don't know a nicer way of saying that. They're not rough and tough. They don't know how to fix shit. They're like, let me call the guy for that. Let me call the guy for that. You know, they're not rough and tough. Like, I don't really like pretty boys. So for me, it was just like, he was manly, and it was like exciting to me, where I was like, all right, awesome. This is good stuff. What was Stefanos like just as a person, as a human being? You know, I mentioned the manly part and the very, you know, chismoso, like tough and rough guy. But honestly, like, when he was a gentleman, he's very chivalrous, and I like that. You know what I mean? He opened doors for you. He, you know, let you go first. His personality was very kind when he didn't have to be a protector. He was only a protector when someone gave him a reason to do that. And I like that about him. He, I felt safe no matter what or what situation I was in. I felt really safe with him. So that was really, really nice. I feel like dating him and being like in this relationship that you're trying to build on was a little tough, because he did want to be like the manly man and like you follow me kind of situation. And I'm a Scorpio, and I'm a really strong personality, so that was like a little tough for both of us, I think. Exactly. But for a woman wanting to like run the relation, like run the situation, it was like you kind of had to go, dang, he not going for that. Damn. Like you had to back down, you know. I was used to like running the show, and you know, he gratefully let me run the show to a certain extent, but you also knew when it was like time to just let it be. It's good. So that's the thing. What was different about him was that he was not American, actually, for me. How do I explain this? Okay, so I'm mixed, right? So I think a big thing with us, with our relationship, with me and the enthusiasm I had about him was because he was Greek. So my grandfather's Greek, he's from Mykonos. And that is the first thing, one of the first things when we talked about it, and I found out where he's from. I think that's really why I was like really smitten with him in the beginning. Because of that, I said, oh my gosh, you know, well, this is a bucket list situation. Greek guy, check. You know what I mean? Like I was like a bucket list situation. And it was, for a while, that's what it was. But different, I am so fascinated with other religions and people and countries that it wasn't different for me. It was just natural. Like everything he was about, everything he knew about being traveled, the way he ate and everything was very natural to me, because being, you know, mixed, black and Greek and Puerto Rican, I eat all kinds of different things. So I really appreciated that he was worldly, and we really meshed very well when it came to that kind of private life and the way we ate, the way we, you know, the things that we cared about with hygiene or things like that. You know what I mean? It just worked. I don't know if that's answering it, but to me, he wasn't different. Like, I think American girls that only date this kind of guy or this kind of guy, American guys, would be like, oh my God, this was different, this was different. It was like home to me. It wasn't different at all for me. Should have thought about that already. One good Stefanos story. Okay, favorite. You know what, this is, okay, yeah, I do. And I can tell like a lighter story maybe, but my favorite story with Stefanos, like I said, I'm a little bossy. I'm a Scorpio, I've got Spanish blood, I've got Greek blood, very strong-headed, and I know how I like things a certain way, and how I want to be treated in a relationship. Like I said, for the first 10, 12 months, we were, maybe 9, 10 months, we were very inseparable. He scared the shit out of me one time, and that was the last time he did that. So we were really inseparable, and I think he needed to like get out of the house. He was like, listen, we're not like, he rebelled, and he went off. He took off one day from my house, and we were supposed to be meeting up that night for dinner, and like he never showed up. He went to Mexico in the night. I think he had a Porsche at this time. He had like this black, older 87 911 or something. And he went off to Tijuana just to go party, just to go. Like, it's just, 10 o'clock in the morning. What are we gonna do today? Drive to Tijuana for no apparent reason at all. So we went off with friends, and he got into a car accident. He totaled that car that day, but I didn't know that. So I'm freaking out on him. I mean, voicemails galore, because I didn't hear back from him until, the next day. His foot was in a cast, this whole situation. So my favorite story is actually like reprimanding him and him actually letting me have that. I like getting away with shit. I'm a girl. Like, it was awesome. Like, he understood that he scared the shit. Like, I wasn't trying to belittle him or run him. He scared the shit out of me. At this point, I was just like, oh, you're just ditching me, whatever. And then after then I started to get the worry, of what's going on, because this is really not like him. So weirdly enough, my favorite story with Stefanos is me, being a total wifey and going off on him and him letting me do it. And then we were inseparable after that, because he needed a nurse for like 6 months. So I got my way no matter what. It was perfect. I was like, because he couldn't drive, because it was his driving foot that he broke. So he was stuck at my house, or stuck with me taking him to doctor's appointments. I mean, it was perfect for me. Literally, I was like the lady in Misery. Remember the lady in Misery? Was her name Kathy Bates? It was like that. I was like, you can't leave. Where are you gonna go? You depend on me for food. You can't get to doctor's appointments, meds, whatever. I was like, it was perfect. 6 months after that, it was perfect. It was great. He was stuck with me for 6 months. That's the best story. So he, I don't remember around what time this was, but he used to bounce at a friend's restaurant on like Bundy. It wasn't on Bundy. It was like in West LA somewhere. I forget what it was called, but I used to go there a lot actually. And then I would go meet him and take him dinner or whatever. Just even we were, kind of dating, kind of not dating, whatever we were doing. And I remember parking my car, and he would park he had this big, huge black Suburban at the time, right? It was like this old, crappy black Suburban. And I remember him, I didn't know he was waiting in the car for me, like in the Suburban. And I remember me walking past the restaurant towards the car to see, because he wasn't inside. And I remember some guy like smacking, like a half a block towards Stefanos. This guy smacked me on my ass, like just walking by. It was totally random. Like it wasn't, I get it. It was in front of like this loungy, really cool, hip, posh restaurant. And I don't know what he was thinking. It was just like a drunken thing for him. Stefanos, like when I say he was by my side in like 5 seconds flat, I didn't even see him. I turned around to curse the guy out, and he was just behind me. He just showed up like fucking Casper. I was like, what is happening right now? And he did not fight the guy, but he did pull him by the neck and taught him a lesson in manners. That's all. Like, there was no punching, there was none of that. Just a alpha male, how dare you apologize to the lady kind of situation. So those are good times. Definitely not American kids. I mean, seriously. And maybe it doesn't just have to do with that, but I just think that here we take for granted a lot of things. And I think that kids growing up here in America don't really see how good they have it, I guess. So to be that kind at that early of an age, that comes definitely from parenting. So shout out to mama, but it also comes from just having that deep down inside of you. It's like people that always know they want to be a nurse, or people that know they want to be a doctor. Stefanos always wanted to be there for someone that needed help. And you know that you have it inside of you. Just beautiful. How would I describe Stefanos in a word? Magical. Everything about his personality, the love and the warmth that he could have, and then the fighting spirit that he could have. Some people can't all make those things work in your own body, in your soul. People either have high in the protection part, or high in the nurturing and caring part. And I think he had 50-50 of that. And that's magical to me, because a lot of people have a lot of imbalances in their selves. And I don't think he had imbalances like that. Yeah. Magical. My want for him and my love for him, I can definitely say that and admit that, went deeper than us being together. Maybe we were only together, like where it's like, oh, this is my girl, this is my guy, for a year, and I get that. But this was a 15-year romance, over 15-year romance that I had with this man. And I will never forget that, or never, belittle that. I think that my future husband is going to have to deal with Stefanos stories. Seriously, like, definitely. Because the boyfriends that have come after that are just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, he's a bigger part of my life than being a lover. So, magic is something you can't explain. So that's why I picked magical, because I'm really into stones and manifesting what you want in life. So I believe in magic. I believe that it comes from the earth and it comes from nature. And that's why I picked magical, because you couldn't really pinpoint and explain what this person, this individual, had about him. I don't think that there's another word that means a deeper meaning than magical. I thought, I was like, okay, it's over now, it's like new life changes, and this is it. I was like, he survived this. I definitely thought, another good 40, 50 years, you know what I mean? Like, it was over after he had that first, bout with his heart. Transformed into a whole newer, better human being for himself. Not for everybody else, because for everybody else, he already was really great. But for himself, he did things that he had been talking about changing, the smoking the cigarettes, the drinking, the this and that. He changed it by himself. No therapy, no therapy, no nothing, no help from that. He just came home and decided, oh, I'm not doing that again. And that was it. It's like stern. 0 to 100, period. There was no in the middle.
All the time. Like that.
Yeah. And I do in my life, like I said, I'm a very intense person. I'm a Scorpio, and I think that really has a lot to do with a lot of people's personalities. Scorpios are very intense. It's either 100 to 0. It's 0 to 100. That's it. I don't have a gray area. I don't have a medium, a middle. I can't, like, you tell me, oh, Dom, can you please go get me something to eat? I want a bowl of chicken and rice. I'm like, well, let's see if they have cilantro rice and truffle chicken. Like, the most, I just want the best for everybody that's in my life and around me. And we got along in that way. We meshed in that way. It's like, who can do better for each other as friends, well, like, I can top you up on that, it was good. Why do I believe it was on a Monday? I found out on a Monday, and I remember this for the rest of my life I was getting my hair done, and that's why I know it was on a Monday. I hadn't moved yet from Los Angeles and from Playa Vista, and I used to get my hair done on, I think it was a Monday. Maybe I'm mixing it up, but I remember I had a standing hair appointment, and I was in the salon chair. And my girlfriend called me, my best friend, Jackie, called me, and she goes, I need you to sit down. Are you sitting down? And I was like, I actually am. What's up? And she goes, she just told me, she goes, Stefanos died. And I said, no, and I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I just talked to him on Friday. What you talking about? I'm going over there probably after this to bother him. Like, what are you talking about? I'm about to get cute right now. Huh? And I jumped up, you know, from the sitting down position I'm supposed to be in. And I ran outside so I could hear her correctly, because I thought that I definitely heard her not correct. And I just, when she told me, I think I had my hair was still wet. It wasn't even done. And I immediately wanted to like clip up my hair and like drive off and come to the apartment, because I was just like, no. You're like, I don't know who's telling you this, but you're getting this all wrong. You know what I mean? And when she really said it a couple more times to make me really feel it, I dropped into the middle of the parking lot of my hair salon, sobbing uncontrollably. It was a weird feeling. And so that went on for a little bit. I'm not much of a boohooer, so that was very weird and uncomfortable for me that it had that struck me like that, like right then and there. I'm like a, you know, cry in private kind of person. And my hairdresser came out and, you know, got me and I couldn't explain to her what was going on. I couldn't talk. And when she finally calmed me down, you know, I went back in and I told her what happened, and they all know of him, you know what I mean? So it was just, yeah, that's where I was. And I couldn't really get up and just go. Like, you have to kind of go on with your day. Like, it's not like they said he had another heart attack or a stroke and then I could go to the hospital and see him. There was nothing to be done. So I went on and, you know, just told her, I hurried the process. I said, just dry my hair, just finish this. I don't even feel like doing this anymore. Just finish it so I can go. And I actually don't remember what I did with that night. Probably went and got really drunk, because I don't remember that evening at all. I don't remember. After she came and got me off the floor, I don't remember the evening. I probably came by here, or maybe I waited for the morning, 'cause I'm pretty sure that's how I cope. I'm like, give me a glass of vino, I'm good to go. So I probably went out and had a couple drinks and just probably numbed it for that evening, because that's how I deal. And then the next day it's like, okay, ready to get going, find out what do I need to do, you know. Then I got all the information the next day, you know, with what I can do to help or whatever. But yeah, I probably just, what is it called when I just ignored it for a night, because I don't really remember that evening. I want to say blackout, but not blackout, you know. I wasn't, blockout, you know.
Yep.
I definitely blocked out that night and that day.
Yes.
So, yeah. I am very organized when it comes to my phone and scheduling and calendars. So I have a horrible memory at 35 years old. Horrible. Half of that's Stefanos' fault, because he partied with me for 15 years. So I blame it on him. My memory definitely is in the gutter. But yeah, I put everything on my phone, and when I need to reference something, it's all in my phone. So I could definitely be like, no, this happened on this time, and all I have to do is go back. But it doesn't really matter, you know, when we all found out. I think that people that I had to tell had the same reaction of shock and no, you're gutting your information the wrong way, and really just like a gut punch. Just this huge gut punch to your world. Because, I mean, I was still training with him. At the time, I lived in Orange County. I didn't even live here. And I was still training with him twice a week. So, yeah. Yep, that got together really, really quick. I mean, I did not. In the pouring, it's like, I feel like I was in New Orleans. It wasn't just like California rain. It was like, no, North Carolina, it was like southern rain, like you're in NOLA, and it's just like those tropical storms. It was like a tropical storm. It was insane. And I didn't even think, I still was probably very numb. I didn't even think about I wasn't worried about who wasn't gonna show up. I know that's what I wanted to do, and you know, it was what I needed for the healing. And I was just pleasantly surprised at how many people just kept showing up and kept coming through. It was really, really beautiful. All the people that were involved in getting that together, it's just very, very powerful. Powerful love for this, you know, human being that, I don't know, just seems like such a, like everybody probably says, he's, you know, hard and rough and tough. But if that's all he was, this all wouldn't be happening right now. Right now, what we're doing wouldn't be happening if that was his substance. This is gonna, maybe it's horribly selfish, but my last conversation with him would be for us to carry on his legacy as to have a DNA-born child, you know, from him. I know that was one of his greatest challenges, that he didn't have a child to carry on his name. And I mean it, like that was always a thing that I knew that could possibly happen in the future for us. And maybe it's selfish to want a child to grow up without their father, but I think that whatever child he would have had with whoever, even though obviously I'm saying that I would have done that with him and for his for me, for his family, that's how deeply I cared for him. And that really is the conversation, you know? Like I would like that from you. And I think that if that was a case and like, you know, some dream came and said, you're gonna die in 5 days, Stefanos, like I think he would have got off his high horse and had something to bring into this world, even if he wasn't around to raise this child, because he or she would have been very much loved with my side, with his side. It would have been a very beautiful existence. And I mean that. I'm not like the biggest kid person. There's only 2 people in my lifetime that have made me agree to have a child with them, because I am the baby of 5, very spoiled, and I like my things my way, but there's just some people that have so much magic that, you know, they can change your mind on things and let you see it in a different light. And having, you know, this DNA, you know, be a part of my life would have been an amazing gift. An amazing gift for this world and an amazing gift in my life. Nobody wants to be a single mom, okay? I'm not saying be a single mom. That sucks. Don't do it. But I have a village. I have 2 villages. I have my Greek village, meaning with Stefanos' family, and I have my American village here. I have villages, and it would have been fine. I don't know if that's too intense or not, but not saying, you know, like for me to say that, it's like, just think about it. I'm 35 right now. I have not gotten married. I don't think I was really like waiting on him at all. I was trying to live my life, but it was like a good thing for me that things, you know, hadn't panned out, because I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, once I was gonna get his shit together. Because we always mesh very well in that way. And there's people that you just know you could end up with, and he was one of those that guy for me to always go whenever, you know, he would make that decision and could be focused on a family. I would like to give him that family. It's been that way since I hate to say it, but you know, I was 20 years old when I met Stefanos. And it's been that way ever since. If my mind hasn't changed yet, it's not going to. I will say that to his mother, thank you so much for bringing this man into the world that touched not only me, but he had a very big LA family here, a very big American family. And I know you see that, but coming from someone that was in love with your son, I want to thank you for gifting my life with this Greek amazing person that I don't think, unless I move to Greece, I am never going to carry on that Greek legacy for my family, because like I said, my grandfather's from Mykonos, and that was my person. That was my person for that. And thank you for including me, Calliope, thank you for including me. And you know, our chats through WhatsApp are really, really meaningful to me and really beautiful. And I can't wait to touch you and hug you and kiss you and cook with you, and, you know, I'll meet you back home.